Okay, let's raise the big question there. Is there now a total breakdown in government-opposition ties yet again in Parliament? Is the Lok Sabha Speaker partly responsible? Is he really a neutral umpire or biased? What will it take and who is going to now restore trust between the two sides? Just some of the questions that we will raise. Manickam Tagore is a Lok Sabha Congress MP, Deputy Whip of the party, who's also been suspended, among the MPs who's been suspended because he allegedly tore the papers in front of the speaker. He's smiling at the moment, so he's not apologetic. Aparajita Sarangi is senior Lok Sabha BJP MP. I appreciate both of you joining us. Manickam Tagore, to you first. When I mentioned that you had been suspended for tearing the papers in front of the speaker yesterday, you're smiling at the moment. Is this the approach that you're going to take, that you don't care, you're going to just make sure now that because Rahul Gandhi was not allowed to speak, you're not going to let Narendra Modi speak? Today, your MPs were gherawing the Prime Minister's chair with placards, which again is against the parliamentary rules.
Good evening. We need to understand that the discussion on the President's address started well. 1 hour for discussion where two BJP leaders spoke. Sarvanand Sonwalji and Bangalore South MP Tejasvi Surya. Surya also spoke many things about imaginary stories, attacking Congress leadership and others. There was no, we were not at all getting angry with these kind of things, not allowing him to speak, all these kind of things, disturbance, nothing we were doing it. But when leader of opposition was stopped, when leader of opposition wanted to speak, when defense minister started to behave like that, when home minister started to jump, when parliamentary affairs minister again and again started to jump, then when they had a planned story that they will not allow the leader of opposition to speak, and next day when that was pushed to the next level, that they will not allow leader of opposition to, after authenticating the letter also, he will not be allowed to speak, and they will call the next party, the TMC party. Then TMC refuses to speak. Then Samajwadi, they call it. Samajwadi colleagues refuse to speak. Then they call DMK colleagues. DMK colleague refuses to speak. All the opposition parties' voices are silenced. Then they call TDP MP. The rules are broken there. The rule paper has become only a paper there. What I was tearing was only a paper. It was not rule. It was just, there's a bogus thing this house has become, that the government is pressurizing the honourable chair. We respect the honourable chair. Honourable speaker has not come to the chair yesterday also and today also, because completely the government is pressurizing the honourable speaker's chair. Lot of pressure is going on. Nishikant Dubey, the habitual offender, has been given the mic when leader of opposition is not able to get the mic today, and he is quoting 6 books.
No, but does that, I allowed you to have a full run on it, but does that justify tearing papers in front of the speaker, putting placards in where the Prime Minister is about to speak? I mean, is there no attempt being made to go to the speaker, go to his room? You're a deputy chief whip. Go and tell him what you're doing is unfair. We believe that Rahul Gandhi must be allowed to speak. Is there no backroom talk at all between you and the speaker's office? Is there a complete breakdown?
No, we are very democratic in nature. Today also they went. Today also our leadership went. I am a suspended MP, therefore I have not gone to meet the Honourable Speaker. Today also K.C. Venugopalji, Priyanka Gandhi and Deepinder Hooda, all of our leaders, K. Shureji, all of them went. Javid, my colleague as whip, they all went. They said what Nishikant Dubey is doing is completely unacceptable. This is against all the rules. Rules are becoming just papers. It is not being followed.
You're saying the fact that Nishikant Dubey was showing books. You're saying the fact that Nishikant Dubey was allowed to show books targeting the Congress versus your leader not being allowed to show a book of, unpublished book of General Naravne. Am I correct?
The problem is that they asked for authenticating that book itself. The whole discussion would have gone smoothly if, when defense minister asked that whether you will authenticate it, leader of opposition said that yes, I will authenticate it, and he gave next day authentication also. Before that, there was a meeting with honourable speaker where we explained that our leader of opposition will give it in authentication also. Therefore, we have to understand it. We are ready to walk to that level. Where it is breaking down is from the government part. Government is becoming more arrogant. Mr. Kiran Reju completely is failing as parliamentary affairs minister. He is unable to face. It's a minority government. 240 MPs are only there. They are able to manage another 40 MPs because of help of the ED, CBI, and other fund issues and others. That's the way they are able to manage the government. They are not able to see the whole India bloc with 239 MPs as united force. We are very clear that the insult to leader of opposition is an insult to opposition parties.
Okay, I've heard you now. Aparajita Sarangi, I've heard the opposition leader. Now to you. It's very interesting that you get Nishikant Dubey to put out books where on Bofors, on allegedly Indira Gandhi's links with KGB, and there the person in the chair says nothing. He's freely allowed, I'm showing those pictures, he's freely allowed to talk about the books, but Rahul Gandhi cannot speak on a book, excerpts of which are in a magazine. So technically it's a published work, the magazine is a published work. Is it now that the government also has decided, okay, if Rahul Gandhi is going to embarrass us in some way, we will also embarrass them and use Nishikant Dubey. End result, the Prime Minister of the country was also not allowed to speak today.
A very good evening. Budget session has just begun. We had the presidential address on 28th of last month, and 3 days are already lost. I think all of us must accept this and must acknowledge this. Now, having said that, let me tell you that since the time Rahul Gandhiji stood up and started showing some unpublished material, the ruckus in the Lok Sabha was created. Now let me tell you, let me give you an instance what happened yesterday. In fact, most of us know what had been happening for the past 2-3 days. Yesterday, there was an instance which I would like to share with you. I was in the Lok Sabha looking at the proceedings of the Lok Sabha. There was complete mayhem everywhere. And then suddenly the LOP says, I am the leader of opposition. Do you think I need permission from the chair to speak? Believe me, I am a second-time parliamentarian. I was aghast. I mean, the Honourable Prime Minister, when he stands up to speak, he seeks the permission of the chair. Whosoever may be sitting in the chair is presiding over the House. Now, here is an LOP who says, does he need permission because he is the LOP? Now, this is smacks of arrogance. This is absolutely adamant behavior, and I would also say that this smacks of ignorance of the rules of Lok Sabha.
But
now, we
what
are all
happens
guided
if the
as
speaker,
parliamentarians.
ma'am, what happens if the speaker is seen to be brazenly partisan? I take your point, but what happens if the speaker is seen to be brazenly partisan? The fact is, I've checked the rules. In the past, people have been allowed to quote from newspapers, from magazines. Now, it may be embarrassing to the government. Listen to him, and then the Prime Minister has every reason to rip Rahul Gandhi apart in Parliament. But the Speaker seems to be acting as a 12th man for the government. That's not his role.
Not at all. Not at all. See, let me get back to the rule. 349, Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in the Lok Sabha, which all of us have been quoting for the past 3-4 days. Now, this particular rule says that no material, no newspaper can be read out if the matter so raised is not in connection with the business of the House. Now, what was the business in the House? I think all of us must appreciate. I think Speaker Shri Om Birla ji is absolutely right when he denied the LOP to speak. You know, when he asked LOP not to speak. Why so? Because the business in the House was motion of thanks on the presidential address. Now, suddenly, since you want to talk about Indo-China relationship, suddenly you want to talk about some internal security matter which have been in your mind for so long, you want to seize this as an opportunity. This is something which obviously any person sitting in the chair would not like. There is absolutely no partisan approach.
But should there be no attempt?
So
should there be no attempt, ma'am, at any Ma'am, should there be no attempt at some kind of backroom negotiation, as often used to be the case? In the past, there would be enough mutual respect that you went to both sides went to the Speaker's chamber and sorted it out. Now even that doesn't happen. There is absolutely no dialogue.
See, Sri Kiran Rijuji yesterday stood up. Today there was absolutely no chance because there were 4 adjournments. Yesterday he stood up and he said that he met 2 senior leaders in his chamber. One, of course, he named Sri K.C. Venugopalji, and another very senior leader he named. He said they had come and we had discussion. It's not that backroom parleys don't take place. The point is it's a question of their relevance. They want to stop Prime Minister from talking. Now what does it prove? See, he's the Prime Minister of the country. You may like it or not like it, but he has been chosen by the people for the 3rd time. He's extremely popular. We have to accept it and acknowledge it.
But Rahul Gandhi should also get the same
He is the leader of the Lok
benefit.
Sabha.
But similarly, you must be ready to listen to Rahul Gandhi and they must be ready to listen to the Prime Minister.
I have all respect for leader of opposition Sri Rahul Gandhi ji, not saying no. And all the while the chair kept on saying we want to listen to the LOP. But then, showing that book, showing that unpublished material, whatever it was, related to Indo-China conflict, what was the need? What was the relevance? That is the whole issue. So I think if he would have delivered his speech, we would have been
whether
very
it is
happy.
relevant
And one after the other.
whether it is relevant or not, there are ways, Parliament has ways in which you can address those issues. It need not be that you stop an individual. But Manickam Tagore, the feeling is Rahul Gandhi, according to the government, is this permanently angry young man, and now the word used by Aparajita is arrogant. That if he is not allowed to speak on his terms, then he's not going to accept the ruling of the speaker. And even outside the parliament, we saw what happened today, the fracas with Ravneet Bittu. Is any of this really necessary? Why have any of this? Is it really necessary?
Oh, three things I have to answer. You have to give me time. My learned colleague is a very respected person, and she said about the rule and quoted about books being displayed. Ma'am, we are asking the same rule. What happened to that same rule with Nishant Dubey? Why that rule doesn't get implemented in that time? One.
Because
Second,
Nishant Dubey was putting out published books. Rahul Gandhi had put out an unpublished book, is the argument given by the speaker's chair.
No, it's not like that. This is a published book. Rahul Gandhi was having a physical book which he will present it tomorrow whenever Mr. Modi is coming. And he went to present to Honourable Speaker also that same book.
That's an advanced copy that was eventually not published. But the point I'm making, Manickam Tagore, the argument being made is that the Congress party is saying my way or the highway. The government is also saying that. I'm not saying government is also saying my way or the highway. Then how will we have parliament function?
We want the parliament, 1 hour of the parliament function. Who blocked the opposition leader from speaking? The question is that only. We need to understand when Tejasvi Surya was making all kind of wild allegation, when the cabinet minister, when he started, Sarbanand Sonwalji spoke, when he alleged that Congress has neglected the Northeast, nobody disturbed. We sat and listened to their fake narratives. But what we have to understand it, when leader of opposition speaks, they are not ready to allow him to speak. Then the person, the ex-DGP of Andhra Pradesh who was in chair, the tone he used it. I had permitted you for this purpose. You can't, I will not permit you. This is not the tone of the Honourable Speaker. You need to understand it. Who is the chair?
Is there
Honourable Speaker's right? The elected Honourable Speaker. And Honourable Speaker is the person. He deputes somebody as chair. Their language is the problem. Regarding the arrogance part you said. Then third, I'll come to you the third thing. We have to understand it. Your visuals will show where we were sitting. I am one of those suspended MPs. My learned colleague has passed through in the morning also, and the afternoon also she has passed through when we are protesting. We were sitting, and there is no disturbance. There were few of our BJP MPs will comment on us. We will have a comment, sarcastic comment passed like this. Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman passed through us. There is no comments exchange. Rajnath Singh ji passed over. No comments were exchanged. He told that Geeta Rao karke he went on. Therefore, these are all the people who behaved dignified. What Bittu did it? When he was walking from there, he is saying, "Ye dekho Kargil jeetne wale logo ka. Ye log Kargil thodi jeet gaye." Arrogance of Bittu was his answer. He is a traitor. He has betrayed Congress, and he is saying that Kargil jeetne wale logo ka. He is insulting 2 Punjab MPs who are sitting there as suspended MPs. How can he name like this?
The fact is, this is all very, very sad. We are now getting news that there may be no Prime Minister's speech also in the Lok Sabha. So, Aparajita Sarangi, the feeling I get is that while Rahul Gandhi you accuse of being arrogant. There is a feeling that Prime Minister Modi also is contemptuous of the opposition. That he doesn't care, even if he does. This will be the first time in the
Not at all.
history. This will be the first time in the history of the Lok Sabha that the Prime Minister will not speak in a motion of thanks. Is this the kind of precedent you want to set?
Please allow me to disagree with you. Today, Honourable Prime Minister wanted to speak right on dot 5 p.m. and we were all waiting. You are aware of that. And suddenly, the women parliamentarians of the Congress came with a big banner with something written on it, and they blocked the pathway of the Honourable Prime Minister to his chair. We all went there. Believe me, I was also one of those. You can see the video. I was aghast. I didn't know what was happening. And then I went to that particular point. All other parliamentarians from our side, from treasury benches were also there. We didn't know what was the ruckus, what was happening. And these ladies, with all regards for them, they almost blocked the path. Now, how does the Prime Minister come to the chair to speak? Now, if he would have come, there would have been some more unpleasantness, some untoward incident in the Lok Sabha, and then it would have actually got blown up. So maybe I think in the fitness of things, Prime Minister chose not to come.
What stops Rahul Gandhi and Prime Minister from...
But we all
you see,
wanted...
the problem is, in the past, ma'am, leader of the opposition and the government had respect for each other. Or the Prime Minister and the leader of the opposition, they could talk to each other. Now they don't even talk to each other. I am being very clear about this. They should be picking up, and treasury benches, Rijuju, should be calling a meeting where the Prime Minister and Rahul Gandhi are present. Sort this out. This is not the way a parliament should run, ma'am, with due regard. Mr. Rijuju should pick up the phone to and Rahul Gandhi and the Prime Minister should talk to each other and sort it out.
See, it is easier said than done. When you see the other side displaying such undignified behavior, do you think you will feel like calling up the person concerned? I mean, dignity of the Lok Sabha has to be honoured, and we all have to behave in a befitting manner. You know, it's extremely important, and whatever they have been doing, completely unbecoming of parliamentarians. And they have to agree to that. You know, they may like, they may not like, but I think they have to agree to that. Every time the opposition parliamentarians will come over to this side when our leaders are speaking. Any minister speaking, they would come over. You know, today when Honourable Commerce Minister was reading out from a piece of paper, all these people came and, you know, showed the placards. What is this going on? Why should you be coming over to this side? There is a way of, you know, registering your protest.
Either way, what I'm seeing...
You cannot just disrupt a speaker.
Ma'am, you will blame them, they will blame you. At the end of the day, another day in the country's parliamentary history has been lost and wasted, and now the news comes that the motion of thanks on President's address will be passed without the Prime Minister's speech taking place, which is unprecedented in the history of the Lok Sabha, and a sad day in many ways if this is what our Lok Sabha has been reduced to, a complete breakdown in trust between the government and the opposition. The opposition leader's speech was not allowed to be completed, and now we are told the Prime Minister will also not speak. Who is to blame? What is one to say? Thank you both very much, though, for joining us.